everyone. Today I'm going to be listening to a Chinese artist, Faye Wong, and I'm kind of looking forward to it because it's not very often when handling a genre that is rooted in a certain part of the world that we can move outside of that into a whole different culture, whether it's classical music or rock music. I feel like rock music is perhaps a little bit more intercultural, international than classical music, simply because of the time in which it grew up and developed and how it's gone on since. But today I feel like I'm kind of stepping out of the Western culture and going to see what Chinese artist does with rock music. Faye Wong is a Chinese singer, songwriter, and actress. One of the biggest pop stars in the Chinese-speaking world, Wong has also gained followings in Japan and Southeast Asia. Okay, so maybe she's not a rock artist. It says one of the biggest pop stars. So rock music, as we are exploring on this channel, and I keep it focused on rock, but sometimes we have to branch out a little bit along the sides and ahead as well to see and understand, not just to appreciate more of what the core of rock music is, but also to appreciate how it has impacted so much of what exists today as music. And so that is why it makes sense to bring in something like this from time to time. In 2000, she was recognized by Guinness World Records as the best-selling cantopop female artist, having sold an estimated 9.7 million copies of her albums by March 2000. Okay, so she's certainly got some popularity going for her. This is going to be interesting. Let's see how it sounds. Could be the opening to a symphony. That's interesting. Okay. Several things. I think it's beautiful. She has a beautiful voice. The strings and the flute. Well, let's start at the beginning. The strings, the opening. Dee-dee-dee. It was such an authoritative opening. As I said, it could almost be the start of a symphony. And then, of course, it turned into something different, some percussion, and But when the flute came in and started following the same line as the violins and enhancing that, it became so otherworldly beautiful. I love what the flute added to that line. And then her voice entered. Sweet voice, clear voice, delicate. And in fact, I kind of felt like it was a weird sensation where I felt like almost like I was listening to, say, a classical French art song or something like that. The delicacy and the elegance of it, even the shape of the melodic lines. And then there's that funny little ding, 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 the piano playing seconds up there, and it adds a sort of, wait, what's that element? And at first I didn't like it. I felt like it was distracting. But now, as we're going through, it starts to settle in as being something that really adds to the piece in a way that makes it feel not just a cookie cutter, borrowing all the successful things from the past. It feels more like, okay, she's taking these and really turning it into something that has a special touch. I also need to say that I have the advantage of having the lyrics in front of me. So maybe I should read those out loud now before we go on. The story begins with a pair of glass slippers. In the beginning, Cinderella had no memories, didn't understand how beautiful the little prince was. Until the first Bodhi tree grew in the Garden of Eden, then did we learn solitude, walking through Swan Lake, searching, searching. In the end, everyone has their own ending when the glass slipper lies shattered. Where is your little prince gone? The butterfly's rose might still remain in the Cambrian hundreds of millions of years ago. Afraid it's a mirage, will fade before we have the chance to meet. And that's where the lyrics end. So it's really playing with not just classical musical heritage, but also classical stories, fairy tale stories, and drawing on all of that to create its own line of thought and questions and mood. I like the way her voice blends from the voice right into the flute. A cello. Make me think of Rachmaninoff as well. I think it's beautiful. I'm a bit surprised. I mean, who would have thought that I would say I like canto pop, whatever that is? Well, canto song pop, maybe? I don't know. Anyway, it's a lovely piece of music. And so I was listening and thinking, what are the connections between the rock genre and something like this? Obviously, I can hear classical connections as well. They're abundant everywhere. And I think, of course, the strongest, most obvious link to rock is the drum portion of the piece, which is pretty consistent throughout. And I started playing with the idea, what if that didn't exist? Would it still feel like, and I think it would still feel like a whole piece of music, but perhaps not quite so persistent, insistent. The drums, the percussion adds a degree of relentlessness to it, a consistent progress forwards that is unavoidable, inescapable, in a very gentle way. And so it's a fun thing to play around with. Imagine it without the drums, hear it with the drums, see how you think about it, and tell me what you think would be the better of the two. I'm really curious to hear your thoughts on that. But I have to say, I do like her voice. It's not just a pretty voice, but she's very expressive with it. And it's a very light, kind of silvery tone as well. I would enjoy hearing maybe some more of what she does just to become more familiar with it. And so maybe at some point I'll explore more for the fun of it. Either on or off the channel, I have no idea. But that was my first time hearing Faye Wong, and what an enjoyable little treat. I'll see you soon.